All right. Good morning. Good morning out there in YouTube world, Facebook world. It's Grace Simon here, and it's good to be back on a live call. I took a little bit of a break from doing live videos, morning momentum videos, for a bit. May was a big month for me, and I had geared up for it for the past while, but it was especially big because I turned the big 5-0. The big 5-0 happens here. It's like, that moment in time that you just think 50 sounds so old. And then when you get closer to it, it's like, this is no way old at all. And I had made it, in my mind, I had watched people. Good morning, everybody. I had watched people approach 50 and it be a really challenging time for them. I had a friend that when she turned 50, she cried. She cried. We showed up for a little surprise get together and she cried about turning 50. And I just made a decision in that moment. It was like, that's not going to be me. Bless her. But that was not going to be me. When I turn 50, I'm going to celebrate because I have so much to live for. You have so much to live for. And so no matter how old you are, my dad's turning 75 in August, and it's absolutely amazing. I'm already celebrating the fact that he's turning 75 and he's healthy and he still drives a motorcycle and does the things that he loves. I love it. I love, my mom and her painting and expressing and, doing the things that she loves to do. I love seeing people live their fullest lives because that's what we were really created to bring pleasure to God for, is celebrating life, living life abundantly and expressing his life in and through our lives. And if we're not, if we're not living, I really truly believe if we're not truly learning how to celebrate and to live out our life fully and abundantly, then we are not bringing pleasure to God. And that's my take, and that's my view of it this good morning. So, another reason why I had paused from morning momentum every single day was because it had a lifeline. I love to demonstrate mindset. I love to demonstrate personal development. There's a lot of teachers out there. There's a lot of coaches, a lot of people that are teaching these things, but I'm not sure completely on how much they're living it morning, noon, and night. And so for me, being an authentic person that I am, it's really important that if I'm going to talk about something, that I know about something. I have a hard time faking it. I don't believe in the fake it till you make it type thing. I'm all in. When I'm all in, I'm all in, and I'm learning as I go and as I grow, and I love to share and demonstrate. So that's how I handle my coaching. That's how I handle my real estate. It's how I handle my family, my relationships, is being that authentic Grace Simon. And so I like to demonstrate the areas that I'm learning. My purpose is really to become an incredible communicator, to be the best communicator that I possibly can, to teaching people how to grow themselves, but grow themselves and their relationship with God, and to truly pursue everything that's in them to pursue everything, the God-sized dreams, the God in them that, pre-planned and predestined, and discovering what that is and what that means to people in all different walks of life, faith, religion, backgrounds, whoever you are. It's my purpose to help inspire you to really seek out those things that are in you. And so I do that for myself. I've been on this own journey. So with the morning momentum, doing it every morning, I wanted to develop this muscle that I hadn't had before, of getting on consistently every single day and sharing something positive. Not practicing it, just like from my morning, from my study, from my prayer, from my workout, whatever, that I could bring something to add value to someone. And man, it was a marathon, honestly, because when you're living your purpose, when you're doing something and you're pursuing it with everything you can. Hey guys, I'm going to be starting this podcast, this morning momentum podcast, and I'd really love it if you could really help me to build this. Now that I'm only going to be doing this once a week, every Friday morning, I'm going to be jumping on here and YouTube land and recording a podcast. And today I'm doing the live, but to help me out, I'd really love it if you could click and subscribe to my YouTube channel, share it, let people know, We're going to be talking about personal development. We're going to be talking about pursuing our dreams, building this muscle, building the muscle within so that you can really pursue what it is on the inside to manifest on the outside. We're doing this together. I love it so much. And so we did this over a period of time. And I said, I have this muscle. I can do this I've created a habit now. Every single morning, get on, jump, do a live pursuit of giving value. And I thought, okay, has it lived its course? Now, how can I improve? How can I do better? How can I grow my message? How can I grow my communication so that it's influential and that people want to pay attention to it? Good morning. Good morning. So I'm moving this to Friday mornings that I'll be doing podcasts. I'll be doing a podcast recorded with a very intentional message and lesson that you'll want to, when you're at the gym, you can listen to it on a podcast or you can watch it here on the YouTube channel, whatever you choose. But it's going to be more in depth, more intentional, more discussion based. I'll invite my friends that are living out their dreams and pursuing the things in their life so that we can be a collective voice together. And so this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited about it. For this morning, I want to talk about dreams. I want to share with you about a dream that it's actually not a dream. It's a memory that I have, but it being a dream within myself. Good morning. Good morning. It's so good to have you here. I want to talk about the deep heart of our dreams. Those big guys. Do you know those big, bold visions that we held as children in the past that they've possibly paved in our lives? Do you have anything that you remember as a child? There's a moment in childhood when you're just like, this is me. This is like part of who I am. This is really awesome. So I want to start with my story, and I hope that it sparks something within you this morning as I share this. I want you to picture this. I want you to picture I'm 4 years old, just a little girl, 4 years old. And I remember, this is an actual story, a real life story. I remember sitting on a massive rock. It was massive to me at the time. For those of you that live close by, it was in Keswick on Morton Avenue. My babysitters were there. And I remember sitting, on this big rock at my babysitter's backyard. The sun was, beaming down through the trees and on my face. And I'm only 4, but I remember this. So it made an impact. There was a song in the air, and it was a song from the 70s. And so I'm totally dating myself if I'm 4 years old and I know it's the song from the 70s and I was singing it. I'm old. But it was a song. I'm going to turn my brown eyes blue. I'm going to turn my brown eyes blue. For any of you listeners, do you remember that song? Gonna turn my brown eyes blue. That's all I remember because I was only 4 and I have no idea what that song was about. But I remember in that moment being on that rock in the sunshine, hearing the trees and the birds and singing that song out loud. I was singing it with my whole heart. I wasn't just singing to the birds, and I wasn't just singing to the trees, and I wasn't just singing to the sky, but to an audience of thousands. I remember this so vividly. I remember it, that thousands of people I was singing in front of. My fervent little imagination. At that moment, I was a famous singer. There was no doubts. There was no doubt in my mind and my heart. I had no doubts, no judgment, just pure expression. I had a song in my mind and my heart, and I sang it with the top of my lungs on this rock. And I remember picturing just the whole world listening to me. Now, fast forward through the years of my life. And it's interesting because I have sang many, many times in front of small crowds, big crowds, living out that dream time. And it wasn't really being a famous singer. I didn't pursue the famous singer. But it was more like I'm an inviter, I'm a connector. I love to bring people into a space. And for me, I'm a worship leader. So I led worship for 20 years of my life. And when I sing, I love to bring people into that atmosphere of experiencing God and experiencing his presence and experiencing how to praise it up, how to break atmospheres and break boundaries and break limitations in that place of praise and exaltation. Like when I go there and I'm in that place, I see heaven. I see God coming into that place, and I see him invading and touching people's hearts, and I see lives being healed. And like that is what I absolutely like in that moment. I love that, like that. So being able to go to different countries and being able to go to different spaces and places, whether it was on the street when I was 14 years old in Jamaica, singing a song, and going to the jails and singing songs, and sharing and talking to youth in youth detention centers and different platforms. I've been able to do that. That was the dream that I was holding from that little child on that rock. But eventually I walked away from that. That dream, that dream shrank. And whether it was my own doubt, right? My own doubt, or other people's whatever things, can't blame it on anybody else, but it died. I stepped down and I walked away from it. And you know what? It's not just my story, right? I bet it's a familiar story to many of us, where dreams start in this expansive and vibrant and incredible place. And then perhaps self-judgment, perhaps a loss of belief, whittles down that dream. And then you drop it and you leave it behind entirely. Has that ever happened to you? Is there something that's happened that you had, like when you were a child, did you remember, like, I was the brave soldier, you liked to play different games, or you saw this picture in yourself and there was no judgment, there was just full expression and excitement, right? And over time, it just gets dimmer and dimmer. And then to a place where you don't even think about that. And here's a fact that I've learned is that, it's been said that the most people, they go to their graves with the music still in them, unplayed, unsung. What a sad thought that is, that the majority of people go to the grave with the music still in them. And, it's not just about music. It's about maybe building skyscrapers or developing a medicine, a cure, or, starting your own school, creating curriculum, creating new software that will just transform industries. I don't know what that is that you saw when you were a child, when you were a kid, when you were a teenager, and you pictured yourself manifesting it. You pictured yourself leading it, creating it, developing it. And then you listen to the voice of doubt, the voice of fear, voice of something saying to you, like, how is that even possible? Could that even be? Oh, don't think so highly of yourself. Or you just whittle it down to absolutely nothing and dropping it and letting it go and walking away. But I want to ask you this, friends. I want to ask you that, what if you could break through the invisible boundaries that were set by your own limiting beliefs? What if you could break through those invisible boundaries that you set, that are there from your own beliefs? And this is the time when you have to stop being the victim. You have to stop blaming other people or your environment or your surrounding. That so often when I'm leading people, and now I'm growing a real estate team and group, and bringing on people, and specifically my own sister coming on. And I've been doing real estate for 18 years. It's what I do. It's what I know. And I've been running by myself for a long time. And now welcoming other people and leading them, I have to think about everything, right? I have to think about right back to the beginning of starting a career, somebody starting a career, and I have to learn how to lead people into that and through that. And it's a challenge, but I've gone through the process, to know how to do it right from the beginning. And sometimes we need to ignite things that, that have been buried because of time, because of seasons, because of, failure, successes, whatever it be. But we have to be willing to open that up and understand that at a time in your life, that dream is still alive, but where is it? How are you going to find it? Because there's people that need you. There's people that are surrounded by you, not by coincidence, but by design, because of the dream that's in you, because of the ideas that you have that you've walked away from. But for you to ask yourself, how can I use it? How can I use that to build my life and to help others to lead and develop and grow them? So today's episode is not just about reflecting on what could have been. Like leave what could have been, leave what's happened to you, the story that you tell yourself over and over again. I'm talking to people and they'll say, you don't understand, or you don't know what I've been through. Okay, well, you don't know what I've been through. So what? What does it matter? It matters today. And what is your story that you're going to create for yourself today? So this is about igniting what still can be within yourself. As breath is in your lungs, as you are always creating, you are a creator, you get to be a part of this creation of your life forward. It's about recognizing those dreams that are still in you, understanding the barriers that you unconsciously uphold, and getting rid of them, tearing them down. Another thing that happened this month was I went on a Turning Point excursion with my mentor, my coach, and community of empowered living. And I hadn't been to a Turning Point before. It's yearly, and it hadn't been the right time. But this year I knew that it was going to be the right time. And before I even connected the dots, it was within a week of turning 50. And here I'm going to this Turning Point excursion where we were, brought through a journey of digging deeper and removing barriers, recognizing barriers. And it took me a minute. It took me a day or two. And then after, when I come home, to really recognize my barriers, the beliefs that I was holding. But one of the things that we got to go through was climbing this huge pole. And I'll talk about it on another episode because is quite profound. But, catching yourself in those moments of why you're afraid. What are you scared of? And you making a decision of, well, am I going to let this hold me back? Or am I going to lean into it, understanding and go for it? Like you've been brought to this place. It feels very uncomfortable climbing a 35-foot pole, not only climbing a 35-foot pole, but standing on top of a pole that's like this round, right? And it's wobbly and there's nothing to hold on to. They have you on a rope, but you have nothing to hold on to. And you just have to make the decision to step up on top of a pole and spread out your arms and take a leap of faith. It all sounds good when you're standing on the ground and there's, there's nothing pushing you over, or, you don't have to worry about it. But climbing that pole, I recognized some things, but I also saw the power that I have within myself to make that decision, that I either believe God's with me or not. And I believe that he, brought me to a place in my life that he knows about, that he cares about, that he's there for about, or I don't. And I made that commitment to him and to myself that either I believe the word of God or I don't. And so that's really where I've anchored myself into. When I get to a place of fear and I'm pursuing the dreams, I'm pursuing the things in my life, that I either say, do I believe this or I don't? Do I believe myself or I don't? And tearing down those barriers and your dreams. Like seriously, guys, your dreams are not mere fantasies, but they're actually potential realities. They're actual potential realities. So I want to ask you again, my dear listeners, do you take your dreams seriously? Or do you just dismiss them as a nice idea that could never actually happen? Or, and are you ready to challenge those limits, to change the story that I hear people talking about all the time? I mean, I had my own story. When I get there, when I make this much, when this takes place, when my marriage is here, when my kids are this old, when. change the narrative. What am I doing right now? An amazing line that I heard from Turning Point was, if you're not changing, you're choosing. So many of us are choosing a story that is not serving us, that's not building us, that's not edifying us. This is to be transformed by the renewing of your mind. You know, we don't fight against flesh and blood. We fight against principalities and powers and darknesses. And those principalities and darknesses are within your own head a lot of times because of this narrative, this story that's talking you out of being bigger and better and stronger. You know, Carl Jung says that unless you make the unconscious conscious, then it'll direct your life and you'll call it fate. What you're creating in your old story is not fate. It's the bad beliefs, it's the barrier systems that you have that you're allowing to stay stuck in and not pursuing that dream, not pursuing the song and the music that's within you. But you have the opportunity today. And just today, as I was, reflecting on the memory of that moment, as a child, being 4 years old on that rock, singing my heart out, to the thousands of people, to the air, to the sky, to the birds or whoever, without judgment, but only with expansiveness and expression. I thought back to that moment. I was like, isn't it interesting? I did sing in front of many people over the years. I did have the opportunity to do that. But it wasn't the crowds. It wasn't the people that I got to sing in front of to be the famous singer. That really wasn't the pursuit. The pursuit was to bring people into a closer relationship with God. That's for mine. Famous singers are amazing. I appreciate the artists are incredible. But for me, and I, along the years of helping people to experience a presence, to experience the supernatural, to experience something that is so beyond themselves. We have a lot of people that are demonstrating yoga and meditation and crystals and all this crap out there. And they're doing it without God, the creator, the one who made everything. It's impossible. It's impossible for you to find your purpose, your destiny, the fulfillment and the abundance without inviting God into your life, pursuing a relationship with him. And so part of that in the expression of my prayer and my devotion time and my praise and, conversation is inviting people into that space where I can hear God, where I can offer myself up as an excitement for how I've been made, what I've been created for, and letting my light shine for people to know that I was made for a purpose, just like you were made for a purpose. And so I think about that moment sitting on that rock as a child and the years gone by of that, being able to invite people into that space with me. And today driving home, I was like, well, I love that I was sitting on a rock because today I still sit on that rock. Now it's not literally a literal rock, except for the rock, my God, my rock. He is my rock, my strength, my shield. And I still have that dream within myself that I'm pursuing right here with you today. And bringing you into a place of understanding and leading you along my journey and helping to teach you and equip that no matter what is going on in your life, whatever's gone on in your life, leave it all behind. Pursue that thing that's inside of you that you just love to do, that you know that you're effective in it. That how can I build that? How can I awaken it? What does that even look like? My dream isn't about being a famous star. It's not even about, being in front of thousands of people. It's about a relationship and a development, a pursuit. Now I think about that, I'm like, wow, I'm living my dream right now with you, sharing my pursuit, inviting you into a secret place with me, into a private place with me. I have one-on-one retreats that you can come into my home, and we're going to talk about the things that you see and the things that you don't see, and is there more? And my friends, whether you believe in God or you don't believe in God, or what your background, religion, faith is, you're welcome to my table. You're welcome into my home. And it's all about you. It's all about what you need, what you're looking to develop, what you inspire, what you know that's in you that you just don't know how to access it. You don't know how to reach it. I want you to come into my home. I invite you into my podcast to listen to the stories I share and the lessons I'll teach about personal development, mindset, and leadership, and also some coaching along the way, that you can have some one-on-one private sessions. You don't have to come to my home. I can reach you from all across the world. You can find my link in my New Doors Mentorship and Coaching here on the YouTube channel, or in my podcast channel, wherever it may be. Just click the link. You can book a time with me. I'd love to meet with you and share with you, or whatever it is that you're needing. I want to meet you wherever you are, and I want to help ignite that dream that was in you a long time ago. No matter what has gone on, what has happened, that we can ignite it together. I want to hold you. I want to hold your dream. I want to tear down those BS, the bad belief systems that you hold that keep you stuck, and reignite the possibilities of your life. I'm Grace Simon, the New Doors Mentorship and Coaching. I hope you have an absolutely incredible, amazing, fabulous day. So stay tuned again for Morning Momentum with Grace Simon, the New Doors Mentorship. God bless you, keep you, and cause His face to continually shine upon you, giving you great peace. Bye for now.